Stories of Great Christians. We're bringing you transcribed from the radio studios of the Moody Bible Institute in Chicago, Chapter 12 in Beautiful Upon the Mountains, the story of John and Isobel Kuhn. There, you see, Belle, why I didn't want you to sit in your cabin and miss all this. The Chao Phraya is quite a river.
Oh, John, it is lovely. You were right. Thailand is like China. And yet it isn't. What are those trees on the east bank?
Coconut. They grow in clusters. There's another. Coconut groves.
Danny would like that. He'd say, you know what he'd say, John?
What?
He'd brag about how fast he could climb a coconut tree. You know, I think Danny's going to be quite an athlete. I hope the Aldriches encourage him.
Personally, I think our son has 2 left feet, except when he sees food on the table.
John, I'd go out of my mind if I didn't trust the Aldrich family the way I do. I'm so glad he's in the state of Oregon. Look, now that's just like China.
Shanties. Don't tell me they make you homesick.
In a way. Not when I think of how you have to cook on the floor, and nobody has room to sit down together. Look at them, John. They stretch on and on, right up the bank of the river, as far as you can see.
We're getting near Bangkok, that's why. They're like a suburb.
I'm seeing something through the trees. Over there, John. Maybe it's just the sun. No, it's something quite gold.
A what?
What, John?
It's a what?
Don't tease me, John. There. You can see it if you come close to the railing.
I can see. It's a wat. A wat is a Buddhist temple. W-A-T.
Oh, it's lovely. All gold and shiny and pointing up to the sky. That's a Buddhist temple. Why, John, that's lovelier than any Christian church I've ever seen.
Yes, I know, Belle. When I came to survey Thailand, I had to ask myself a lot of questions. I had to ask myself, what are we bringing to this beautiful, beautiful country? Civilization? Huh? They've had it for thousands of years. Not education either. They've got their schools, even big universities, right here in Bangkok. Nor religion. You see for yourself, that golden wat says Buddhism is deeply rooted here in the hearts of the people.
Did you really have to ask yourself, John?
Well, Thailand was quite a cultural shock after the Lisu mountains.
John, we're here to be hands and feet and heart for God. However he wants to use us, we bring Christ.
And that's absolutely all. We bring Christ to Thailand, the atoner, the true way to the only true God.
When Isobel Kuhn was 50, she and her husband had the courage to begin their ministry all over again, in a new part of the world. For 22 years they had served in the mountains of China. Then communist activities forced their evacuation. China was closed, but Thailand was open. In 1952, Isobel and John landed in Bangkok, capital of Thailand.
Now we have just 15 minutes to catch our train to Chiang Mai.
Thai trains never leave on time. You said so. Just one more shop, John. I want to get Kathy a scarf and Danny
The trains don't leave on schedule. That is what I said. 5 minutes early, 5 minutes late.
Look at that stuffed bird.
Belle.
I don't know when I'll be back in Bangkok. Oh, John, see those men in yellow robes?
Buddhist priests. We turned down the street, Belle.
There's a shop with nothing but pink vases.
Only one train a day, Belle.
I'd rather shop here than Vancouver. Wait for me, John. I'm coming.
They couldn't have found a better place for a base camp. That's what I'm calling it, base camp. Better than the superintendent's office, don't you think? The young ones, new ones, will be coming here first for orientation. From here, they'll fan out to all those places I surveyed.
The tribes.
The Lau, the Miao, the Lisu. Belle, don't look so woebegone. There. How's this for a classroom?
Oh, John, I'm sorry. All I can see are the floors that have to be mopped. Every language student has a meal to cook, a dozen meals to cook. Housework is what I like least, and you know it.
Belle, didn't we agree before we came here? In China, you were, well, more or less on your own, all over the place. And I got along. I didn't complain.
It was my calling.
But you told me, back there on the ship, you knew you were called first of all to be a missionary wife. And this missionary happens to be a superintendent. Belle, I desperately need your help. Right here. In Thailand, we've got to stick together. Your work has to be right here, or the whole mission is in real trouble.
Cook! Cook!
Yes, ma'am?
Lunch plans have changed again. Lunch for 9 instead of 3. Can you manage? Mr. Consul, sir, one of our missionaries started up the river. He was gone about an hour. My husband discovered that his visa wasn't granted. He sent me down here to your office. My husband, I mean. Honey, arriving Friday afternoon. Honey? Cook, did you order honey?
No, ma'am.
That's Pete Honey, Belle.
What?
Didn't I tell you? Pete Honey is an architect. He needs a place to stay for a while. He'll be here a couple of weeks. Coming from Malaya, arriving Friday. Belle, we'll need that back bedroom ready. I think that's a good place to put Honey. Well, at least, Belle, if you fall off your mule, we have a nurse along with us.
Hear that, Edna? He's expecting tragedy before we even start out for the hills. John, the ladies are ready and organized. What's your word?
Well, I suppose there really isn't any reason why we shouldn't get started.
John, look at that man coming down the path.
Must be a village nearby.
I mean, look at his jacket. John, he's Lisu. What are you doing?
Working.
He understood. He speaks Lisu. He is Lisu. Is a Lisu village near?
Yes, over there, Missy.
What'd he say? That's Lisu, Edna. He understands. Oh, my wonderful, wonderful Lisu people. I'm home. I'm home again. Does your family know God?
What do you say?
God. Wusa. Do you know about him?
I do not know. No one has said.
Tonight, in your village, there's going to be a meeting. You come.
Yes.
Nobody has told him about God. Now do you see why we had to come? Please, let's hurry.
I know your heart is back there with the Lisu tribes, Belle. More than ever after your trip. But we made an agreement. I need you to keep base camp going, right here.
Why should our guests have a full stomach if the Lisu have empty hearts?
I'm not only your husband, I'm your mission superintendent. It's my decision.
You're more than that. Immovable object. I've been married to you for more than 20 years, John Kuhn. When your mind's made up, you're an immovable object.
Well, Ellen, I had no idea. When you came down last week for a physical with Dr. Bucher, I thought it was just routine.
Well, I did too, or I hoped. I went on hoping. But Bucher said there's no question.
Yes, he sent me a report on the cardiogram. I have it on my desk here someplace.
No more mountain climbing, that's what it means.
Of course. And this means some immediate changes.
Cuts out my work with the tribes.
I know. That leaves a hole. I don't know what we're going to do without you and Evelyn. Listen, shouldn't you be in bed resting?
Oh, no, nothing like that. Just no more mountain climbing.
As all of you will see, just step in a little closer to my desk. As you'll see, I've worked out a schedule of reassignment that's, quite radical. But everything is covered. Alan and Evelyn Cook will be reassigned to city work. I myself will start out on a preaching-teaching trip to the Meow tribe. And to the Lisu, I've assigned Edna McLaren and my wife. I realize it's a little unusual for two women to go off to a completely pagan village, but there was no other solution for the immediate emergency.
Edna, our porters don't look very happy.
They have about as much energy as if they were in the last stages of beriberi.
I think they're just lazy.
Belle, nothing in my kit of medicine is going to take care of that.
If they ask for one more rest period. They've been resting once an hour all along the way.
Let's not look at them. Then we won't know.
Here we are, two women in the midst of a village of demon worshippers, and even our own porters bully us.
I suppose we look as frightening as David's pebbles look to Goliath.
David's Pebbles. That's us. Come on, Pebbles. Let's roll along.
Not far. Our porters have just stopped again. What are they doing? Why, they're going to take a nap right in the middle of the path.
Whoa, boy.
Easy there, boy.
And there isn't much we can do about it. Well, let's use the time.
Now? What do you mean, Belle?
They rest, we pray. Give your mule a rest, Edna. Come on. Come on down here with me.
Belle Kuhn, I've never seen anybody like you for turning nothing into something.
There it is, Edna. See the bamboo shanty over there?
Is that Tingle Village?
That's Tangno Ridge, number 1. Boys, we stop here. I'll get us a place to stay.
But I don't see any place.
Lisu people are very friendly. We won't have any trouble. There's a man on the porch of that shanty. Hello? We are friend of Lisu. So you see, my friend and I have come to live here in your village and teach you about God, about Wusa. Is there a nice, clean home where we can stay?
Nothing here. Ridge number 2.
Where?
Ridge number 2, over there.
Belle, we can't cross the ravine. Why, it's at least 80 feet deep.
Just 2 women and our porters, that's all. Can't we stay here? We have our own bedding.
Ridge number 2. Sleep there. Headman is there.
Well, he means it. Alan Cook told me about the headman. He's all right.
But, Belle, that ravine.
We've done worse, and there are shanties over there. Come on, boys. One more time, then we can rest.
And so we conclude Chapter 12 of Beautiful Upon the Mountains, the transcribed story of John and Isobel Kuhn. This is another in the series, Stories of Great Christians, produced by the Department of Broadcasting of the Moody Bible Institute in Chicago.